Hey everyone, in this video, we'll be talking about how to improve perceived performance. Performance is one of the most important things we need to prioritize for when building an application. The reason is if your application feels slow, people won't use it anymore. Your application would need to do certain things which would be slow by its nature. Take, for example, API calls. An API call which is made from a mobile app can generally be a little slow because of bad network connections, etc. To accommodate for this, what people have always done is they have added spinner screens or loader screens while the API call is made and the data is fetched. The problem with this approach is full page loaders make the applications feel very sluggish and slow. As an alternative for this, Ionic provides by itself is called skeleton loaders. Skeleton loaders reduce the amount of movement which happens in the whole page, and it makes your application seem much faster than it is. For this reason, I'll be showing you in this video how to use skeleton loader. So this is a small application which I've been showing in my earlier videos as well. And it's basically a WhatsApp style note taking application. I'll show you how to use skeleton loaders here. So first, let's look at the component which is there for this small portion. It's a standard component which just shows the information which is there. We'll add a new input called loading. The reason I'm doing this at a component level is because it will make it much easier for me to repetitively show the same pattern to the user while data is loading for a lot of messages. The general assumption is that any person who would be using this would have a lot of messages. Now that we have this set up, let's go to the template. I'll first create a ng container. As you already know, ng container is a component which is given by Angular. It allows you to have a dummy element in where you can add ngif conditions or ng for conditions or any other directives without unnecessarily adding a lot of boilerplate to the template. So over here, we'll put loading and we'll put a else statement. Okay. How do we use this? Ng template, and I'll move all of this inside ng template. And I'll use this as a reference. Done. Now, the same structure that we would be following also over here, only that the main content which is there, that would get replaced by iron skeleton text. Also, this won't be relevant anymore. I'll just remove it off because there won't be a difference for ephemeral messages that we show. So over here, and I'll replace it iron skeleton text. Now, as a next step, let's just see how this looks. Inside message container, we'll add loading equals to true. As you can see, this is how it would look. Without the loading, it looks like this. And with the loading, it looks like this. Now, as you can see, there is a small height difference which is happening. Now, the whole idea behind using skeleton loaders is to reduce movement in the screen as much as possible. So to do this, what we'll do is I'll add a small class to this. Class skeleton text. And I'll go over here. Height. And let a min height. 26 pixels. Now that we have this, let's see how this looks. Let's set this to false. Save. This looks about correct. And this is how you can set up a skeleton loader. Now, normally you won't be setting up messages like this because you won't have the list of messages. So let me show you another step that you can do. If you're rendering a list of messages and you want to show a skeleton loader for that. To do this, we'll go inside message container and we create a dummy set of messages. We'll call it skeleton array and populate with not 10, maybe say 5. And with this, the next step that we'll do, we remove loading over here because this is already loaded. We'll do ng container, the same structure, star ng if, and also we need to add if is messages loaded. Let's put this to true and ng. And over here, we'll do a set timeout and we'll put 5 seconds. This dot is message loaded equals to false. So it will be set to true in the beginning, and after 5 seconds, it will be set to false. So is messages loaded, then I put a else, loaded the messages. I copy this. Over here, I put a ng template and I just copy this inside. Now, and inside this, I'll just copy of the messages, paste this here. This is not relevant anymore. And do messages, I'll put M because it's not technically a message, and put skeleton array. And I'll set the loading to true. Now let's see how this looks. This will appear for 5 seconds, after which the messages will load up. This pattern is very helpful whenever you're showing any kind of information inside application and will help you avoid any kind of full page loaders. Keep in mind that your buttons will still be interactable if you're taking this approach instead of doing the full page loaders. So have some sort of control mechanism to disable your buttons when you're doing this. Thank you.